giants
People who came from the
in
sky.
the sky. Yeah.
Yo!
What up? What up? What up, bro?
Hello, bro. What's going on, man?
Shoot, it was a good weekend, man. You know,
Okay.
Wolves are up 3-1 against the Lakers.
Yep.
That feels good.
Yep.
You think that would happen? You know, and I got to see the movie Sinners. That was
On fire.
a good surprise. I didn't know it was that good. Even everybody's saying how good it was.
Right.
Man, if you haven't seen Sinners, especially you boomers, you need to go see that movie. You boomers who grew up in the South, you need to go see that movie.
Yeah.
That is... it's so good. I need to cut the music. That movie is a must-see classic. Like, you can put that on anybody's list of good top cinema magic. That's it.
Yeah.
Sinners
That's the real deal. Yeah. Sinners is a real deal, man. I mean, and this is coming from you, a real critic when it comes to the movies. You don't really let a whole lot slide.
I'm a movie snob.
Yeah.
So, and my guy Theodore Coop, he has a YouTube channel. He said the movie snob, and he said it was good. And, you know, I was like, all right, so it's straight, man. It's better than just good. But the thing is, you have to know about a lot of the context about, Black, or people are saying now, foundational Black American history and hoodoo and root work.
Yep.
And like, if you don't know that stuff, you don't need to know that. But if you really know that stuff for the Black American, it hits deeper than rap. That movie has so much symbolic. It's a lot in that movie.
Right.
That movie's really good.
It makes you feel it more, and also feel it and appreciate it more. And also, this movie is basically about our grandparents, growing up in the South.
Yeah.
So there's a connection there, and like you said, with the hoodoo and the root magic and all that stuff. Like our great grandmother practiced some of that.
Yeah.
And we understand a lot of what that is. Like our great grandmother, Big B on her dad's side, she would put salt on under the windowsills and in front of the doors. And that's for y'all who don't know, that's so evil spirits can't cross the threshold. And Sinners, and I don't think we don't want to give away any spoilers, but Sinners kind of gets into that threshold type of mythology. So
yeah, and it, like, I like the name because I don't want to give too much away, but what up, Nate? Happy to have you here.
What's up, Nate?
But the movie it encapsulates what me and Rashad actually talk about a lot in our podcast.
Right.
And it's that we are not just our religion. We're not just Christianity. And I don't want to give too much away, but when you watch it, you're going to see, and they're going to kind of mention it a little bit, how the things that we were taught may not have been the right things that were, that the colonizers taught us may not have been the right things. You're going to see examples of it in this movie. I don't want to give too much away. And it tells you, like, sometimes the people who are already in this land know more about what's going on. And we should trust them over the ones who lead you the other way.
Yo, yeah. I was actually surprised at so you're saying I'm not gonna give anything away, but I was surprised by that part of the movie when that does happen. I'm like, did they just wait? Are those who I think they are. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know that that was going to be a part of it, so that was pretty cool. Let's see. Nathan says crystals are supposed to be powerful. Tesla was fascinated by them. He said they had certain vibrations that could be harnessed. Yep. Yeah, and people still use some of that crystal
Yeah, yeah.
magic and things like that. Yeah, some people sleep with them under their beds. Certain crystals do certain things. Yep.
Ryan Coogler knew what he was. And the thing about this film, he knew he was trying to show you, and you can appreciate it in different levels. But
Mm,
I'm not trying to be, divisive. But if you're a Black American and you got folks from the South and you know about some of that stuff, the movie's made for you.
right.
Real
Right.
talk. This is made for you. You're gonna see. I mean, the world building in this movie is
Mm,
crazy. The way they
yeah.
build it up, and then when shit hits the fan, you're like,
It's a
"Whoa,
fan.
what is
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
on?"
And I
And
tell
the
you,
symbolism of it, man.
yeah, and no spoiler here because it's in the trailers. It's vampires that they're up against, so that's not a spoiler.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, I was trying to keep that, but
no,
man, even that them
it,
the way they were, what man? There's so
yeah,
much and there's so many levels to the
mm.
symbolism.
But you didn't even need you like where I was going with it. You didn't even need the vampires. It was already a great story. It was a great story before they even showed up.
Bro,
And like you said with the world building and all of that, like it was already a
it's
great
already good.
movie. So, let's see.
Oh,
Nathan
we're talking
said,
about Sinners, Nathan.
yeah, we're talking about the movie Sinners. Just
Um,
dropped. It dropped last weekend.
last weekend. I
Yep.
didn't see it last week, and I had a lot going on. I was trying to, I had some stuff going on, so I couldn't see it on. I want to see it
Same.
Saturday, but the Wolves are playing Saturday, and that stuff in between that.
Mm.
So I want to
Yeah.
see it this
Yeah.
Saturday. I want to see matinee. Like 12, like earliest I could see it, 12:15. I
Mm,
went to go see it, and 'cause I had avoided most spoilers. I knew it was vampires,
mm.
and I knew that's not gonna ruin it for you. Oh man, go check out the trailer. That's not
Yeah.
gonna ruin it for you. You know, there's
No.
the way it comes to be. You're like, what? Like you're like, okay, 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 here we go. Like, and then like the
Yeah.
way like the characters are created, it's
Yeah.
just so much in that film that
And that newcomer, that one kid, the singer, he doesn't. This I think this
ooh,
is his first movie.
his voice.
His
And
voice.
I fully believe it may not. So I might be a little spoiled to this, but so the film really touches on how um it's not just Black Americans, but how Black people and people how we are one of the people who our voices in our music and our soul it can pierce the veil. We have a
Mm,
certain rhythmic tone about us that like it's different, and that's what the movie's
mm,
trying to say. How we're just like like a lot of Black Americans pick up an instrument and know how to play it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of
mm.
things that we can do that it might bring good and bad spirits
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah. And
And
some
it's
of
not
those,
us;
some
it's
of the,
like Native American tribes. They
yeah.
kind of talk about different, the different continents.
Yep, yeah, Asians, the like Asian countries and stuff like
Yep.
that. So they kind of get into just how music because music is vibration and vibration is energy. And if you can, and I truly believe that if you can
Very
vibrate
strictly held.
at the right frequency, you can do supernatural things like as in summon things or open veils or all kinds of wild stuff. So a lot of that stuff goes over people's heads, even though they
Yeah,
they I mean they kind of put it right there in front of your face and try to explain it, but they do a lot of they did I think it did a good job at showing and telling. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a good mix of that. Some movies do, mm, one or the other really
yeah.
good. you know. So, but this did both. It had a good balance when it came to that, but you know, a good character development. Michael B. Jordan, the way that he played those twins was just phenomenal. How they had their little differences, and so you could kind of tell who was who when
Yeah.
on screen. Yeah,
I heard a rumor. I don't know if it's true, but I guess uh Jonathan Major was supposed to be Stack,
mm,
but he got into the whole situation with that girl in New York that they just let Michael B. Jordan play both characters. But
hmm.
it was originally written for him to play one of the brothers in that film.
So instead of being twins, it's just one of the brothers, and
Yeah,
so they just rewrote the script to make it work. Oh, okay, I can see that. Like, it's just rumor, but
it's
I
the
could,
rumor. I don't know.
yeah,
But
I
that would
could
have
see
been
that.
pretty cool to that would have been cool because this is how the different acting would have been. I mean, they had
Mhm.
the accents down because if y'all go see it, and just to be real, if you're from the Midwest, especially, you're gonna have a tough time for the first 5. No, not for me, but I'm sure that some people who see it, the first 5 minutes, you're gonna have a hard time with the accent, and then you're gonna kind of pick up on it.
Yeah,
Um,
you're gonna wish there was closed captions.
yeah, you're with the first. Well, just with the twins for me, they were very
Yeah.
Mississippi. They were very country. I think the other characters you can kind of understand what they were saying, but
Mhm.
man, that movie, man, I can go on about it too much. I mean, if I feel like I keep going, I might give away stuff. But like,
Yeah.
just man, that movie was so good.
Yeah, great story. The allegory is really good too. So, you know, please check it out if you guys get a chance. Again, it's the movie is Sinners, but Michael B. Jordan. I don't think it's going to be so. If you can, try to catch it on IMAX before Thursday, because it was filmed with IMAX cameras, and
Oh,
that's the way it should be viewed. If you don't catch it by Wednesday evening, it's gonna be gone because Thunderbolts comes out and they're gonna take all the IMAX screens. So just a
I
little
didn't see it on
tip for you.
IMAX. I wish I
Oh.
did because it was a little dark. I kind
Mhm.
of like the darkness of it. Like it looked like it was filmed like that on purpose. I should have seen it
Hello,
on.
darkness, my old friend.
I didn't know it was filmed for that. If I would have known that, I would have definitely seen it for the. Man, that movie's so good. I
Yeah,
don't care.
it's
Like that movie made. Go ahead,
it's
bro.
good. Yeah, it's good regardless. I mean, you still enjoyed it, you know, outside of IMAX. But I watched a lot of interviews with Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, and so they filmed it specifically so you could watch it in IMAX theaters, and they were able to use 8 mil. I think it was 8 millimeter
88
film,
mil.
or
Yeah, that makes
yeah, or
sense.
like the cousin of that,
That's what I
and
thought it was.
not many studios will allow directors to use that. So yeah, apparently they had faith in the film. So yeah, check it out, guys. It's I had a
Man, go
I,
support that film.
I got a buddy of mine. Uh, he on Facebook. I'm not gonna call out his name, but he's so funny and clever. He's a white guy, and it was in my timeline. And one of the ladies in there, she was like, I haven't seen it yet. She's white too. And he said, if you don't go see it, it's racism. So, which I thought was hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was great. And then he sent me a picture yesterday of tickets that he bought for he and his wife. And then when he saw it, he said, "Hey man, I went to go see it. It was great. I did my part." Hashtag ally. I was like, well, thank you.
I mean,
They,
thank you because
they,
it's a black. I think it's a black production company. I think Ryan Coogler is like
mm,
own. I
yeah,
mean,
it's a
obviously
production
it
company.
was produced by Warner Bros, but they made it.
Yeah,
And if the
but
film doesn't it's gonna put 'em on the map, it's probably. I mean, for me, Ryan Coogler's up there now. It's like I know people are not gonna like what I'm gonna say, but I like his films up there with not Quentin Tarantino, but he's getting up there. Like
he's
he's one of them
yeah,
guys. Every time he makes a film, it's been good. So I
dude,
think he's right up there. In my opinion, he's up there.
he's there. He's a prodigy. He's a whiz kid. You know,
I mean,
from
yeah,
Fruitvale Station, from both Black
Creed,
Panthers. He made a Black Panther movie without Black Panther in it. You know what I mean? Like you
yeah,
said,
yep,
the Creed franchise. So
yep. Um,
okay. I think Nathan saw the trailer. Yeah, dude, it's
man, if
it's
I were
it's
you,
depending
nah,
on your
not gonna
work
say
schedule,
that.
Nathan. What
Well,
were you gonna say?
yeah, look on your schedule, but man, I would go see that whenever you can. I'm gonna go see it
Yeah.
again. I
Oh
plan
yeah,
on
me
seeing
too.
it next weekend.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
I'm gonna try to do a
it-
double
it-
feature. I'm gonna go see the Thunderbolts and then I'm gonna go see Sinners.
yeah, I'm Thunderbolts, man. I
Is
already
it,
know they're fighting. Those are they're fighting my
oh yeah.
boy, but I'm not gonna give that away. Anybody who doesn't want that spoiler, but I know who
It's
they're
in the
fighting
trailers.
in that.
Oh yeah, actually,
But
they don't specifically say who they're
they didn't
fighting in
show
the
them.
trailers, do they? You're right. Yeah, we know who it is, but yeah.
Um,
But I heard
but
really good things about that too. Oh, by the way, Sinners is ranked 98% by critics on Rotten Tomatoes and 97% by audience scores. It's getting a lot of hate in the conservative media, so just ignore that. Go see the movie; it's great.
I don't know. Only thing you could hate is because it's black people. I just being real with you.
But
That's the
that's
one thing you could
why.
hate on because it's literally a original script with no Marvel, DC backing, none of that BS in it. If you like,
Mhm.
bro, what's that movie with Quentin Tarantino in it? And they go to that like casino, and it ends up being like a bloodbath. A bunch of vampires. From Dusk Till Dawn. You like From
Oh,
Dusk Till
Dust Till Dawn.
Dawn?
Yeah.
You're going to really like this movie.
Yeah, and if you like Salem's Lot, the story or the movies, there's two movies. I think the newest one that came out, I think on Netflix, is
Need to
probably
see that.
better
That
than
was
two.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. So it's got that feel. It's got the Salem's Lot and it's got the Dusk Till Dawn feel. So we got Nathan White. He says, "Shite." Probably like the time I went to see Django Unchained.
It's better than Django Unchained.
Yeah, it is. It
It's
is.
better than
That's a,
Django
so
Unchained.
Nathan White knew what you're talking about
Yeah,
before you said it.
Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah, it's like that, but you just
Yeah.
gotta see it, man.
There's no Selma Hayek scene in there, but it's still really good.
No, it's not that great, but not that scene great, but it's
Yeah.
just like like dad used to talk about juke joints and
Mm.
stuff like that. You're going to see
The
what
true
you know what I'm
definition.
saying, like things like that in this film, and like it's gonna really resonate with baby boomers. I feel they're gonna see their parents
Yeah.
in that film, definitely. How
Yeah.
they grew up, talking about sharecropping. I mean,
Mhm.
it's so good. And like Rashad, you didn't even need the paranormal,
Nope.
supernatural stuff. Like that movie was good,
It
and like
didn't.
they set it up, and like the thing they set up in the beginning. I think if you were a film student, you need to see. That's the film you need to see.
Oh
That's the
man,
film you need to see.
dude, that is yeah. Oh, absolutely, man. That's probably the gold standard at this
Yeah,
point. I mean, it is a good walk through history. Like our granddaddy, he was a sharecropper. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yep.
one of the main characters in the movie was a sharecropper, and so I connected with that character immediately. You know what I mean? So
And for me, the connection of our real spirit, like, because back in the day, making music and making blues was blasphemy, kind of.
yeah, yeah.
You should be making gospel music, and you should be making music. You shouldn't be making worldly music, and that was the tension of the black community back then, and how they show how that's our gift. You know what I mean? How we should be
Mhm.
using our gifts. It's a beautiful film.
Right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Out of 500 people, I was one of the four white guys. I was trying not to laugh until the dude next to me said, "Laugh, motherfucker! That's just hilarious." Yeah, absolutely. They did.
For
You know how it
Django Unchained, yeah,
Jake,
definitely.
Jake on the chain. I can see your hesitance in that.
Yeah,
But
definitely. No,
hey, you get around our people, man. It's all love. It's all family. The fact that
right.
you came around our people, you know what I'm saying? When I say our people, I mean Democrats. When you came, not all of us. I'm just kidding.
Not all of 'em.
But when you come around and sharing the love, that's great. Who's the person that played? What's her name? Haley Steinfeld. Is it Haley Steinfeld? She played.
Oh, wait, the plays the mulatto character? Well,
Yeah,
I mean, the
she's
mixed character.
yeah. Do
I
not.
didn't mean to say I shouldn't have said that, but they say it they say it in the film, so
Go. I think that's your first slip. I'm usually the one slipping and saying stuff.
I shouldn't have said that. My bad. Mixed race.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
because
yeah.
she is so
Totally
in
get it, brother.
film, I'm
Totally get it.
sorry, they are a character called They are called the what do they call them? The tragic mulatto. So sorry. So I know that was the character she was playing in that film. That's what I shouldn't be
Mm,
calling her that for my mistake to the mixed race community.
yeah,
That's the character you can kind of see she was playing, and
man.
you need to shut up.
Yeah,
But what she was like,
it showed her struggle though in
yeah,
in that world. It's
in
so
that world,
which is good to show that
which is real.
because they still struggle in that world.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's still a thing. You know,
I'm gonna get hate for that. I'm sorry. My bad. I shouldn't have said that.
no, I think you explained it. That's what they said in the film. So but yeah. So I think we could probably move on for that. Did we mentioned the Wolves, right? The Wolves beating the
Wolves
Lakers.
up. Yep, yep. Mention the Wolves. I mean, it's hard. It's weird rooting against LeBron.
Yeah, yeah. I hate doing it, but screw that guy
Yeah.
if it's on the
Sorry.
Lakers watch. I mean the
Sorry.
Wolves watch.
I'm a Wolves fan before I'm a LeBron fan. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's
People
just fun to watch a blooming, like watching somebody just grow in front of you. Like Anthony. I mean, the whole Wolves team from
whole
Nas
team.
Reed
Hmm.
to McDaniels to Anthony Edwards. It's fun to
Yeah.
watch these kids.
You got Anthony Edwards, though. He's since he is the face of the Timberwolves, and he is probably top 10 player in the NBA right now. And he's very young. He's slaying dragons. He's slaying the NBA greats right now. Like he took down Kevin Durant last year, and he took down Joker last season as well in the playoffs. And the person that got in his way was Luca. You know what I'm saying? He's a a young star in the league as well. But that's a person who's in his way, in his path right now. And if Anthony Edwards can add LeBron and add Luca to the list, what are we talking about? It's over.
I just feel like, from a basketball standpoint, trying to be not biased, the Wolves are a better team than the Lakers. We'll see who we play next round. But I couldn't tell you. I mean, but like like just watching them talent wise, the Wolves have more talent than I think most teams in the West, other than maybe OKC. They're pretty deep,
Hmm.
and Houston you can argue, but they don't look good against Golden State.
Right.
But the Wolves are just they got a deep bag of players.
Yeah. You and I were actually debating about that. I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago. And I was like, I don't know, man. I think the Lakers are a better team. So I have to concede to that because we're watching it right now. Right now, they look like the better team. So yeah, if they win this, man, you're right, dude. I tip my hat.
Mm,
They're pretty deep. They're a deep team, man.
they're a deep
And
team, man.
these guys are showing up during the playoffs, and that's what I wasn't expecting that, and they're showing up during the
And
playoffs.
I have to tell Ant, I was mad at you, bro. So if you see this, I apologize. I was mad at you, bro. The first, second quarter, I'm like, what are you doing? But
I, s-
then
I said that too.
I could see what you were doing, and I'm gonna start shutting up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I said that too. I said that to Shell. Like he's not really doing anything. What's going on? And then
Man, Braun and Luca had like 19 and 15. I'm like, all right, like where's my
where's my
star at?
where's my star?
And
Yeah,
he was like, "Oh, I'm here. I'm right here." I was like,
yeah,
"Okay,
yeah. I'm just making sure everybody else is getting off. So all right, fair enough.
all
But
right,
I appreciate it. Once LeBron almost took his ankle and knee out, he came alive. Although he was
yeah,
coming
that was,
alive right before that, but
yeah, yeah,
he hit another gear. Uh, after that injury. So uh,
yeah,
so we're gonna do another knowledge of the forever time today. But
yeah."
we're
We're gonna
gonna
do half of it, right?
we're gonna do half of it. We're not gonna do
You
the
want me to
full thing.
play it, or what do you
I'll
think?
play it. I'll play
All
it.
right.
And
This is the new segment. Yeah.
our sports segment.
Yeah. It's our new segment. We got sports.
Our sports talk segment
When our teams are in the playoffs.
and movie reviews. They had movie review.
I do want to do movie reviews because that was man. I need to get back in my movie game. That was fun to go see. So
Yeah,
thank
me
you,
too.
man. But we'll talk about it later on after this show. But that movie man hit me so hard. Anyways,
Yeah,
hey, let's
yeah,
go ahead and rock out this knowledge of forever time. I'm sure y'all aren't here to hear our opinions about sports and movies. So
yeah. Sorry about that. We're just excited about it. So this is Knowledge of Forever Time, episode 4. This is the Prometheus stone. So we're gonna do, like I said, we're gonna do about half of it, and then we'll do another half another day. And it's pretty deep. We get into like DNA and aliens and all that stuff. So what it is that we have to drink anytime they say look closer or
we be
something.
drinking a lot.
Got some H2O. I'm all out of drink. I knocked it out this weekend. So let me go in here.
Oh, go ahead, bro. I'm gonna run to the read the restroom real quick. So go ahead. I'll be right back.
All right, cool. All right, guys. I'm gonna check here and make sure you can see my screen. Looks like you can. All right. We're gonna get rocking. Let's do this.
DNA, the foundation of human beings.
Is the sound okay?
And although we divide ourselves on racial lines, our DNA tells us that we are all 99.9% exactly the same. We are all a near exact copy of one another. The reason we are 99.9% alike is because we all have the same father. We all carry the genes of the first man planted on this earth. And although there are billions of DNA bases within the body, it only takes one letter to turn our brown eyes to blue, our dark skin to light, and our blonde hair to brunette. One letter can change the defining look of our appearance and our bodies. But then again, the change of only one letter can do something else. It can make us immortal. The story of Prometheus is the story of a titan who ruled in heaven.
Yeah, I don't know.
This titan stole fire from heaven and gave it to man, to give man equality with the gods. And because of this, he was cast out. His story is not a fable, and it is in fact a statement of truth. Within each powerful ancient stone monument is a secret, a very powerful secret. And just knowing this secret will put you that much closer to rivaling the living years of angels. The secret that is buried within each of these stones is the secret that will allow man to live for an eternity. This story is unlike anything you have ever heard, and it is also unlike anything you will ever understand. It is a struggle for intellect, a struggle for reason, ultimately a struggle to deny it. There is a beginning to our version of this earth, and it began 5,000 years ago. The sons of God came down from the heavens and walked with us, lived with us, and taught us everything we needed to know about our world. These beings who from the heavens came were called the Star People, aliens, Anunnaki, and also the sons of God.
Remember that.
However,
Our people.
we also called them by a more definitive title, because we also called them giants. These giants were called kings. And when Sumerian civilization began more than 200,000 years ago, the gods of heaven came down and gave this kingship of immortality to man. The first king, Aululim, ruled 28,000 years. And the second king, Alalga, ruled
All right, so there's one thing that I take issue with in this video is that he says that it started 5,000 years ago, but then he goes back and says that these kings ruled for like 28,000 years, 30,000 years.
Yeah, he said 200,000, whatever.
Right. So I don't know if he corrects that or not, or brings it to a head. I can't remember. It's been a long time, but let's keep watching.
36,000 years. Although this number is only 30,000 years of rule, to the life of a human being, this is an eternity. A life of seeing the ones you love live and die, and also living to see the earth die.
Ultraman.
You stand in the midst of scorched earth and burning
my
flesh
headphones vibrate
with tears running down your cheeks, only to watch the earth renew, live, and thrive again. You find love, create sons and daughters, only to watch they and the earth die again. In 30,000 years, you watch the earth die over and over again. And each time you do something, you do everything that you can to stop it from happening again. The answer is in your sons and daughters who carry your DNA and who will also live to see the rise and fall of Earth. And you will tell them, you will live 40,000 years on this earth. Do everything you can, everything within your power, and everything within your will to stop the earth from dying. One after another, these men of long life ruled the world, and stunningly, 8 kings together ruled this earth for more than 240,000 years.
Yeah, he's
8 men.
making sense with this timeline.
Archaeologists call this a fable. And even more, the religious who are faced with the holy word of God find themselves also wholly in doubt. The holy word says Methuselah lived to be 969 years old. And although it is found in the holy word, it is rarely viewed as true. The word of God tells us of these men.
And Methuselah was Noah's grandfather, right? Or whatever his real name is, Usadira or something like that. His grandfather or father, I can't remember, but they're related.
I thought Enoch was Noah's grandfather.
Oh, that's right. So Methuselah, Noah's father, then?
What does Lamech is Noah's father? Methuselah.
Am I giving out bad information?
The grandfather of Noah, you're right. So who? Okay.
So
Who's
was
Enoch?
Anybody in the chat know?
Oh, was Enoch Methuselah?
Are they the same person?
Yeah.
Are they? Okay.
Well, we were right.
Okay. So,
Right.
all right. We know stuff. I'll keep going.
And it also tells us that during this period, there were also aliens in our world. They descended from the heavens
So I
and
didn't know
began
he
ruling
talked
this
about
earth.
this.
However, these alien
Oh,
kings
you
and
remember
these
that?
alien men would also enlighten us
He
with
literally
something
mentioned the book of
more
Enoch.
powerful than faith or belief. They would enlighten us with something far more powerful. They would enlighten.
Okay, we need to make a correction. In the Bible, Enoch is the father of Methuselah, who is then the father of Lamech, who was the father of Noah. So sorry guys. We got it.
When Enoch had lived for 65 years, he became the father. Oh, I read that wrong. That's my bad. Yeah. Okay.
Grandfather is believed to be the tribes that led by the bloodline and not immortality. Okay. So Okay. Yep. Got it.
So
Got it.
Enoch is Noah's great grandfather.
Great grandfather. Yep. All right. Just wanted to clarify. I don't want to give out bad information. Nathan knew it, so we're good.
Us with the truth. These sons of God never told us to believe in God, and instead, they would unfurl a map of the cosmos and actually show us where God is, his house, his throne, and his address. All men who they gave this knowledge to became giants, and they were given one authority: to rule. And no land embodies giants more than the land of Egypt, a land of giants and kings, and also a land of a colossal secret. A secret that has been silent for more than 10,000 years. And the secret is here. A cover-up of biblical proportions. When we see these pyramids, we see Orion. And unbelievably, that is the cover-up. The Great Pyramid is the star of this plateau, and archaeology tells us that it was created by the pharaoh Khufu around 2500 BC. This is not a proven fact, and yet Khufu deserves all the credit for our understanding of it. The Great Pyramid has been here, by some estimates, more than 10,000 years. And for the last 5,000 years, no one knew what its purpose was for. However, in 2500 BC, the wise king Khufu figured it out. And when he figured it out, he was undoubtedly floored and then humbled by its knowledge. He found out how holy the pyramid was, and also how glorious it was. He then realized what these stones actually meant. And then suddenly he realized he was in the presence of supreme and holy knowledge. After he came to this understanding, he gave order to his sons that would one day be Pharaoh, that if he should die, that the word going forth would say that the three pyramids were created to signify the constellation of Orion. His sons, King Khafre and Menkaure, fulfilled his word. And from King Khufu's word came the deliberate covering over the most holy knowledge on the face of the earth. You will find this hard to believe and also hard to accept. But the pyramids were not made for Orion. Orion is a ruse. It is misdirection. A red herring sent throughout the world for the purpose of leading mankind astray.
What?
These three pyramids are created to throw humanity off the scent of the knowledge of the Great Pyramid of Egypt.
Yeah, I don't know. This is before.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah. It's been a long time too, so I don't remember it too well either. But again, guys, this was done 9 years ago. This is before we knew what we know now about the pyramid. So, well, we'll keep going. See if he gets to his point.
This one pyramid alone holds all the knowledge and all the glory of God, and also eternal life. His hope was that the world would see Orion, and if we did, the house of God and the secret of eternal life would be safe. The world has never cracked this code. That is, until today. And our knowledge of the pyramid is to be held as something sacred, and also something very powerful. 2.5 million stones that lead us 2.5 million light years into space. Our destination is Andromeda, and then Triangulum, and then the Tree of Life. The Great Pyramid tells us where the house of God is found, and it also tells us the place which holds the secret to immortality. and the place is Triangulum. More than 200,000 years ago, a dynasty of alien kings came down from the skies and jump-started our Earth. Each of these kings ruled 20, 30, and 40,000 years. A length of life that is a dream, a fantasy, or what scientists today would call a lie. 200,000 years ago, they lived, and 50,000 years ago, they left us proof in rocks. A proof so holy it is called the hand of God.
Okay.
And its place on earth echoes throughout the cosmos. How can we be so foolish? And how can we be so blind? Everything they are telling us is not
The
to
issue is
glorify
he'll say
them.
something, and then
They
he
are
won't
telling
like
us this
elaborate on it. He'll
in
just like
order.
go to the next thing.
So what you're saying is get to the point. Is what you're
I
saying.
don't know if to get to the point, but it's like he was like the Great Pyramid's the only thing you need to pay attention to, and then the Triangulum is where you can go to be um immortal. But then he didn't say like where in Triangulum. He just said Triangulum.
Yeah. Like,
And
but
he
where is
said,
that? And then he
"Oh
said
yeah,
Andromeda.
go ahead."
Then he said Andromeda Galaxy as well.
He said, "No, yeah, you didn't say that." But then he said the hand of God. Is that the Andromeda Galaxy? Well,
I
I
have
guess
no
he's gonna say that. But
I have no idea. Now Nathan said Cassiopeia. What is that? Is that the hand of God thing that we're looking at? Because they have found that sign, I don't know if it's the Hubble, one of those telescopes did find that image.
And granted, if you ever watched the show, me and Rashad, we covered this thing Moore's Law that said that our DNA could be potentially 9 billion years old, right? So we're not saying that none of this could be true, whatever. But I'm just saying, like now you're kind of watching it again, and what we know, he's not really like nailing it down. Like I thought he did the first time I watched it.
It was so much better the first time we watched it, but we knew way less than we do now. Let's see,
The
constellation
Cassiopeia
that
is the constellation that is the
is
triangle.
okay, gotcha.
So we're
Thanks.
from there is the theory, or right? That's where we're from.
Yeah, I believe that's what you're saying, or that's where our alien forefathers are from, who jump started humanity. I'm still a little confused on the 200,000 years deal, because he said that there are three of them that came to rule, alien kings, and they jump started humanity, but he said humanity started 5,000 years ago.
I think he was saying that's like the knowledge that we think it is. But
Right.
it was
Okay.
actually like because ancient Samaria was like 200,000 years ago or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. Because we're pretty sure that the Homo sapiens have been around a lot longer than 5,000 years. So.
I mean, either one's been proven, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up, but I think we have structures that are older than 5,000 years. So
correct. All right, we'll keep going. Hopefully, he nails this down.
To save us. To save us from a horror of our own making. A death that we bring upon ourselves because we are so arrogant that we believe that our technology of the last 3,000 years is greater than their warnings of the last 100,000 years. In order for us to understand this part of the journey, we must shake off our old ideas and our current
we know that ain't true.
Nearly everything that we have been taught of our history isn't true. Everything we think we know, we must abandon. It is the only way to understand what comes next. And if we don't unlearn what we've learned, and if we don't change our way of thinking, then we will all end up like the last world, destroyed and wiped away.
We need to look closer.
Nevertheless, there is another symbol that is found in nearly every country in the world, a symbol of Egypt, and yet it is a symbol that no one understands. It is a symbol that is even more important than the pyramid itself. It is a holy clue left to every one of us that tells us how we can become immortal. It is found in Europe, Africa, Asia, the Americas, and even in the United States Capitol.
Yeah, the triangle.
We admire it, we marvel at it, and yet we have no idea what it is for. The obelisk is given to us by the
His theory is
giants,
very
and it reaches into the sky for only one purpose. And the purpose is for each of us to look up, to raise our eyes from the earth and into the heavens and in the cosmos. Standing at the height of clouds, it is a symbol of beauty, riches, wisdom, and holiness. And yet it is also something else even more important than all of these. It is also a map.
Phallic shaped.
Every obelisk stretches into the heavens and dares man to look up. And even more, it dares us to comprehend it. It is a simple and humble design. It is nothing but a long square pillar of stone. However, at the very top is an incriminating clue of what its true purpose is for. At the top of this majestic godstone is a very small pyramid. The pyramid at the tip of the obelisk represents the house of God.
Triangle.
And it is placed high above man so that we can look to the stars and to the clouds and know where we go after death. Because this tiny pyramid on top represents the constellation of Triangulum. And written on every obelisk is a hieroglyphic for Triangulum, which is also a very thin pyramid. Next to the house of God is the place of eternal life, the Ankh. And although your historians will tell you many different things,
takes a while to get there, though.
The Ankh is actually a symbol for a tree. Next to Triangulum and the house of God, there is another constellation called the Tree of Life. These two symbols are always present on nearly every obelisk in Egypt, and they are always next to one another. This knowledge is very powerful, and it is also holy, and it is meant for royalty, kings, queens, and priests. However, it is also meant for the chosen. The chosen are those of us who are selected and who will journey to this place in the cosmos. It is for those of us who will leave the safety of our earth and journey to a strange place in the outer darkness of space in order to save our earth. It is an ancient truth, a modern hope, and a technological aspiration. And children of men, we can get there. And more importantly, we can also safely return to this earth.
He starts getting into this,
In this Sumerian relief, a giant is instructing a man to the meaning of the obelisk.
Oh, yeah, it looks like that.
The giant standing next to the obelisk is at the height of the obelisk, which tells you how great in size our teachers were. But then, notice the size of the obelisk and the giant. And now also notice how small the man is in comparison. This very small man is no ordinary man.
The king.
For this tiny man seated on this throne is actually a king. And only royalty is given this knowledge. The house of God and the place of eternal life are confirmed here. While helping us to build our world,
No.
these giants began building our minds. And they did this by creating this.
The
A
pyramid.
megalithic stone structure that has defied the ages and confounded our intellect. They are stone structures that could have been created by God himself, and to a lesser degree, aliens.
Mm.
Each stone monument is an enduring enigma that baffles our new and supreme technological age. Massive structures that are impossible to recreate, and yet there is
I don't
something
be
within
sitting
us
on the llama, or the
that
llama
tells
sitting
us
next to him.
that there is more to
Yeah.
this story
I
than what
think
meets the eye.
the way it looks to me like it's sitting next to him,
All who feel this way
but
are correct.
I can see what
Your
you're
soul
saying.
does not lie.
Yeah.
And there is a lot more here than what is perceptible to the human mind. Within each massive stone are the answers to our greatest questions, because each stone contains the knowledge of the world that was before our own. Each aged and craggy rock is well fed and made fat with the blood of man. They hold the bones and brawn of a dead and ancient age, an age that was exactly like our own. We see their faces, we touch their hands, and we still don't know them. After more than 50,000 years, they're still reaching out to us and begging us to come closer,
Oh,
to look closer,
there it is. There it
to
is.
listen, to try,
That's my drink.
to understand. They are enigmas to which there has never been an answer. That is, until now. They are older than our world and greater than our minds. And yet nearly every star-faring vehicle that visits this earth also visits each one of them.
Random red.
These stone monoliths
What's up,
are
man?
also a UFO beacon. For as many years as there are these stones, the same can be said of UFOs.
We're doing some
These
more.
unidentified flying machines are
We're doing
consistently
some more
seen
Nautilus
and
Forever time right
photographed
now.
near each of these ancient sites. No matter what side of the globe we're on, if there is a megalithic stone structure,
That's another drink.
UFOs will come to it. Each of these well-known locations are hotspots for UFO visitations. They are regularly seen in each location and almost like clockwork. Each stone structure is a creation of great importance for alien life. And to the hour, the aliens always return. It is a conundrum that every ufologist and intellectual has wrestled with for years. And yet, after 5,000 years of research, we are still clueless. The reason we are clueless is here. The Great Pyramid of Egypt. It is a fountain of knowledge and the spirit of a supreme designer. It leads us into the stars and also to the house of our God.
There was a Project Stargate.
And yet there
that
is
happened.
something else about this structure
That's a real
that
thing.
links every human being in the world
Bro,
to
the
it.
CIA
And the
project
link,
that we looked at, that was
Yeah.
crazy. The Ark of the Covenant project that was
Yeah.
on the CIA website. Project Sunlight or Sun. I have to look it back up.
On something. Yeah. That was nuts. I had the whole document and everything. Charging station for the travel. Yeah, actually, just going back to what Random Rick said about Stargate. I know, being funny, a little tongue in cheek there, but Project Stargate was a project that the CIA had of psychics and remote viewers. And one of the remote viewers, and he was actually killed because he was actually pretty good. He went into the mountain in Alaska. I forgot the name of the mountain, and then went underground and found the Black Pyramid, and learned that the Black Pyramids are the charging station for UFOs. I don't know if that's true, but that psychic is no longer here with us anymore. So,
Well,
but
they're the PDF Stargate project, 1993.
telling you, man, this there's something to it.
I think I can read it real quick.
Where are we right now?
The investigators motivated to examine the area due to evidence suggested by a wide variety of anecdotal accounts of spontaneous occurrences. Many of these early investigations focused on study collection analysts were aimed at phenomena demonstration under controlled conditions that were based on the psychological perspectives of that time period.
So they could so what they're saying, so because they could
Ooh,
they could astral project in different times too, right? Didn't have to be present.
In the brief history of phenomenological research. Phenomenological research is crazy, bro. I have never heard of that. In the late 1800s, investigation into anomalous mental phenomena, bro, were initiated by a very limited number of researchers working essentially independent of one another in various countries. The early investigators were motivated to examine this area due to evidence suggested by a wide variety of anecdotal accounts of spontaneous occurrences.
So they were astral projecting in a controlled environment, right?
Yeah.
And then they were being told to report back what they're seeing.
Yeah.
So there you
They've
go.
been doing it since the 1800s.
They've been doing it since the 1800s.
What is going on in this world? Let's go ahead and play, bro. I'm gonna shut up. Motherfuckers don't care what I talk about. I don't talk to nobody about this stuff. This is a CIA PDF. I can put it on the screen. They were okay. All right.
They were just high.
What? I didn't think that stuff was real.
Yeah, it's just real, man. But they were experimenting with like and this might be random Rick is talking about. They were experimenting with like, acid and LSD and stuff like that to try to get people into a higher altered state of mind. But just because they were high doesn't mean that it's not legit. You know what I mean?
Well, there's technology that we know that people have done. There's the study of the people who did the sleep message or whatever. So how is that out of the realm of reality too?
Right.
This shit's crazy, bro.
Yeah, but nobody wants to talk about that.
Go Wolves.
Go Wolves. Go Wolves. And honestly, well, let's see if we can finish off what Damon T. Barry is saying here.
We got like 7 minutes left.
More minutes, yeah. So we'll finish that off, and then we'll get in, some other talking points here. So
that shit. All right, yeah.
We'll keep going.
Go see Sinners. Anyways, go ahead.
We'll have to do a dissertation on some of the CIA projects and stuff. So we'll start doing that as well.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Is here a humble and unobtrusive stone that is in and of itself nothing more than a rock. However, looks can be very deceiving.
Wait, did he just say
because each of these stones will tell us the greatest story on earth.
Yeah, bro.
A story that will humble you. A story that will crumble you. Because it is also a story that will break your heart in two.
Oh my God.
These mysterious gems of stone are more valuable to mankind than any other gemstone on this earth.
But we know when we get to the point.
All of the precious jewels of this world cannot equal the value of just one of these stones. These worn and craggy rocks are made precious by the hands of those who made them.
Oh God.
And they are blessed by the hands of those who painted them 50,000 years ago. These stones are aged, but they do not age. They are flawed and yet perfect in every way. They are more important than anything else on the surface of this earth.
He's going to say that so
because
many
the builders
times,
created them for only one purpose.
He's going to show you some crazy stuff,
They created them.
But he's going to say how important they are. You're like, which one's more important?
They were created with a message that was made to endure the ravages of time so that 50,000 years later, we would receive it. And this message in stone is a holy message, a powerful message, and a supreme message.
Man.
On the face of nearly every great stone structure around the world is a hand.
Okay.
A human hand.
Yeah.
A hand made to signify that of human beings, and also a hand made to signify the hand of the God of the cosmos.
I wish.
These reflections from a time long gone are made for a time called right now. Their world was ours, and their world is ours today. Over 100,000 years ago, the earth lived and then died, and it has been living and dying ever since. However, nearly 100,000 years ago, they painted, they chiseled, and they carved a great warning. A warning so powerful that it will separate the soul from the spirit.
Bruh.
Whether we like it or not, they who came before us were better than us, and their faith was greater than our own. In 5000 BC, the sons of God and the star people came to our world, and they restarted our civilization. Within this civilization,
Star people
is
was
the
also
knowledge
something that Native
of
Americans,
what
I forgot
killed
which
the
tribe,
previous
they
world.
mentioned them as well. So
Yeah.
They who survived put their lives on the line in order to give us clues about the real story of the end of the world. They are paintings, pottery, pyramids, and stelas.
did it.
And yet they are something else even more astounding. They are all clandestine messages. Sophisticated and stylish, priceless knowledge
All right.
disguised as common artwork. We have seen these works for
He's
thousands of
gonna get
years,
to it. Just keep
and for
pounding.
thousands of years we have all
2 or
remained
3 minutes.
oblivious. This is the tree of life,
Right.
Okay.
and above it is the symbol of God. This symbol is the first symbol of God found in this world, and it is Sumerian. Sumeria is the first civilization on Earth,
Symbol
circa
of God.
5000 BC. We are taught that during this period, mankind was in the Stone Ages, brutes
Hey,
and
little side
savages
titty.
who were just learning how to write and to clothe themselves. The world was separated by vast oceans and seas, and mankind had no contact between the continents. We are taught that the cradle of civilization is the Middle East and Sumeria.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, everything you have ever been taught about our beginnings is no longer of any value anymore. Brace yourselves and gather your hearts, for what comes next
Come on, bro.
is
Let him
the
get you to
wiping
the
away
point and then we can
of
skip.
all of our histories.
Is he gonna get to the point?
It is the end
I
of
think
our
he
world.
is a
The oceans of the world are vast.
yeah, man.
There
You
is
can,
no
you can,
way a 5,000-year-old boat made with primitive tools could have ever crossed these oceans.
All right. So
This is true, and yet
I don't think he's gonna get to it. Like
he's not gonna get to within the 30 minutes that we want to spend on it today. So we'll leave it there. Cool with that?
yeah. We don't have to even elaborate on it. He's getting to a point though, but
Right.
like whatever. I don't know where he's at this point because he like jumped through so many different things.
It's been so long since we watched it. The end of the world will be here by the time you finish. I do remember it being wordy, but I watched a lot of this on the treadmill, right?
Yeah, you're doing something.
I was doing something.
Yeah, so you don't care about it being wordy.
Right. I had all the time in the world. So that's back when I would,
He's
I'd be on there for
trying to
hours.
tell you, and he might do it in this one. He's trying to tell you not only are we able to be immortal, there's a way through what is called the pyramid to become immortal. Like the pyramid is also a sign to show you where. I mean, funny Rick, Randall Rick said it, or I think Nathan said it.
I think it was
called a Stargate.
I think it was Random Rick that said the guy sounds
Yeah.
like he
So
watched too much Stargate. Yeah.
he'll mention it, but he's trying to get to that, but he just keeps, man, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot how wordy it was, but yeah, it gets to a point in the Stargate piece is pretty amazing, especially where he says is at.
It's cool, man.
Yeah. So, anyways, so thank you guys for hanging in there for a bit. So I got something from Nate the other day, and I thought it was pretty cool. So I thought we'd do a special look at it.
Okay.
It's like a 10-minute video. And I just thought it very interesting. It's the message that it had in it. So this isn't for the dogmatics. This is, you kind of have to, open your mind on this one. So I'll go ahead and play it right now.
Trigger warning, I guess. If you want to understand what he was trying to say.
It's called "What If Reality Was Wrong." So again, Nate, I always appreciate the content that you give me, man. If I can make it work in the show, I do try to do that. I gotta close some of my windows here. So, all right. So let's check this out.
We think of the universe.
Oh, and I want to shout out who are these people? I want to shout out Teenage Inspiration and Motivation.
Okay.
Thank you for letting us use this. So here we go.
We think of the universe as a system of energy. And the energy flows in such a way as in a rock to act hard, and in water to act liquid, and in air to act pretty soft and gassy, so all the way around. Everything is a pattern of energy.
I don't believe
and
that.
I don't want you to think of the words pattern of energy as if the pattern were one thing and the energy another. As if a pattern were a thing made of something called energy. Energy and pattern are the same thing, because you will never find energy not in a pattern, or a pattern that is not energy. And if these things are inextricably associated, you can be sure there's some sort of conspiracy underneath the whole thing, and that they're really one. So then, the course of the world is a constant flow. I used the analogy last night of each person being like a whirlpool in a stream. Now you see the form of a whirlpool, as you watch it, remains fairly constant. But the water, it never stays in it, you see? So in exactly the same way, all things and all people, all plants and whatsoever there is a form of constant change.
I don't know if y'all saw that.
It's changing perpetually.
You pause it and break that
in a
down. I don't know
certain
if
dance.
you want the video
And
to
the
play out and then.
Okay. Say what?
Alan Watts and the Power of Energy. It is different. Alan Watts is a transition priest who studied in Asia. This is the guy talking. This is the guy's like his theory.
Yeah. This is his theory on it. The power of energy.
I was too kind of in that. All right, I'm good.
All right. I'll just let it play. We don't need to put the comments up.
Form of the dance remains constant until you get bored with it or it falls apart. And you can experience yourself as a whirlpool of energy in a stream, which is the Tao, which is the total course of nature, the energy field of the whole cosmos. But you do have here, you see, the idea of an intelligence that is rhythmic, that goes on and stops, that pulses. In one chapter of the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu says this of the Tao: the great Tao flows everywhere, both to the left and to the right. It loves and nourishes all things, but does not lord it over them. And when meritorious consequences arise, or when merits are accomplished, it lays no claim to them. Now you see, the Western God, in the popular literature at any rate, is always laying claim to things. People bow down before the Lord and say, any good that I have done is of you, and all the evil I've done is of me. And you, God, are to be thanked for everything. You have given us this, you've given us that, you've given us the other, and so on. And so you feel that the Lord is sitting up there and receiving all these compliments, just like the Oriental potentate may receive them very graciously. but nevertheless, these complements are definitely in order. Now, for the Taoist philosophy, you have to get used to the idea of thinking of nature as a system which has no boss. That's absolutely fundamental. And that's why the word for nature, you see, is ziran, or what is so of itself. It's almost automatic, except that the word automatic in English has a mechanical feel.
That's true.
But in the same way as your heart beats without your having to govern it, it does it of itself.
I feel that
So the
it
Taoist
actually
view
helped
of the
me when I was
universe is that
used to
everything
this
happens
video.
by itself.
I was in a
And yet just
not
because
in a
everything
great
happens
place at
of
the time.
itself and you leave it alone and don't try
Yeah, I
to
want
push
to
it
talk
around,
on this.
it's
Dope.
orderly.
This is dope.
And yet the thing is, you see, the more you let go, the more things begin to work. This is one of those interesting paradoxes of which Taoism is full. So the world is seen as a system in which all the pairs of opposites and all such symbiotic group relationships, as you get with bees and flowers, in groups and out groups, heads and tails of cats, eggs and birds, arise mutually. That simply means that they are aspects of one and the same pattern. And it comes into being together. And so, insofar as any manifestation of nature is symptomatic of nature, it shows us that the whole is expressed here in a, I won't say a part, because I don't regard individuals as parts of nature. Individuals are all expressions of nature. But going back, the whole universe depends on the temporal existence of every single one of its expressions. That is to say, the mutual interpenetration of all things and events. Just in the same way as a figure brings out a background, and a background is necessary for bringing out a figure. It is mutuality where there is an accord to move together like dancers who are wonderfully partnered so that you don't know which one is leading and which one is following. They just read each other's minds. And that's how you act in concord with your environment. You arise together, not necessarily in time. It may start long before you arrive, just as the tree is growing before it produces any fruit. But fruit is implied in the tree. So people are implied in the cosmos. And so, as it were, you're there from the beginning by implication. Just as the apple is implicit in the apple tree. Now, when you find a relationship like that, see, where the two aspects of it, the great and the small, the vast and long, and little and short, and you don't find one without the other, then you know this is not a separation, but a union, where what we call the long is one end of the same energy pattern of which short is the other end. The ocean, it keeps waving. The waves come and the waves go, but the ocean keeps on waving. Well, we are similarly like that. No ocean without waves, you know. It's a dynamic system, it's moving. And so we are the universe waving. Each one of us is it waving in a particular way. So what you do, if you want to find that out, is you have to, what shall I say, deepen your consciousness. You have to go down to its roots and discover the point where it ceases to be purely you, where it ceases to be simply the system of memories and habits that you call your ego. And underneath that system, which is, as it were, the crest of the wave, deep down underneath that is the huge force of the ocean, which is present in you at all times, operating at the basis of your consciousness, which is at the same time the basis of your physical energy, muscular power, and indeed existence at all. It's as if you see, there was, according to certain cosmological theories today, a primordial explosion which blew up and created the universe. And you know how it is when you take a bottle of ink and you throw it at a whitewashed wall, smash like that, and it goes splat all over the place. There's a big blob in the center. And then as it goes out, it gets all sorts of little curlicues and wiggles. So you see, the cosmic explosion is still happening. It takes a long time from that big essential bang for the whole thing to go whoosh. It takes billions of years for it to happen. And it's still happening. And we're the little curlicues out on the edge. See? And we're connected. We are part of the central explosion that originally happened. That, in a certain sense, is in you. You're still manifesting it, you see? So if your mind awakens, you suddenly see all your friends sitting around you looking incredibly ancient. I don't mean in the sense of old and haggard, but like angels, like eternal beings who were always there from the beginning.
Yep. So I found the theory very interesting. Found the video amazing, and it definitely helped me that day.
Mm.
You know,
Mm.
so what are your thoughts on it, bro?
I think that's I think it's deeper than rap. I think people are. I've always had the theory that we're not here for no reason,
Mm.
and that your energy, you are the universe. There's a quote that I always like to think about. It's from Miyamoto Musashi. He has a thing called Dakota, and the thing I think about a lot is I think it's number 4. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world.
Mm.
And I always think about that quote when just in general because I think we're more connected than we're more than just obviously who you are as an individual is a very important thing,
Absolutely.
but you're more than just that,
Right.
and you're more connected to other people than you know.
Right. Right. Being a part of the whole, it makes you even that more, or should make you feel even that more important, that you were not an accident. You were destined. You were always to be, because you're that special cog that helps keep that machine running, which is the universe.
And I feel even with with that kind of thought, it makes you look at the world differently. Even if someone's your enemy, that's still someone who you can see human in, and their
Right.
life is important. I think with someone as a samurai, you have to understand who your enemy is, right?
Right. Right.
So man, read Dakota. If you ever feel depressed and feel down about yourself, read those 21 Paths of Loneliness and be and take it. You can put it in a modern context, but that's what this made me think about. And he's more of that's more of a deeper, bigger universe, way, which I always think about too. I feel like humans and Earth and water, we're all connected on this planet on a deeper level. But yeah, man, that was
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's pretty powerful. Nathan White said Stardust that formed to give perception to universal mind. Yeah. Yeah. And we do come from the stars.
Yeah, I read a quote that Stardust will be proud they made you.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that cool? We
Yeah.
are from the stars. We are star people.
Yeah.
And I think bigger than we're. I mean, you put it in religion context, whatever you believe in, they tell you that God's in you, God's within you. You can manifest. So
Yep. Yep, yeah, and you get some people who they take that the wrong way by saying that you are God and therefore you are all powerful. And it's just like, no, not saying that.
No, I think
I am a
what
I'm a
I
tendril of
feel
God.
like what religion's trying to tell you is that our beings can manifest so much more. We're talking about what CIA used to study about astral projection,
Hmm.
and we're talking about sinners, how music can be what I will call it could be soul or spirit technology
Technology,
that
yeah,
we haven't tapped in yet. We're talking about people who can use lucid dreaming and past messaging.
right,
So if you don't think that your brain and your body has way more within it, if that be from extraterrestrial, be from God, whatever the case you want to argue, we're more than just like what we walk around and do every
right, right,
day. And
and
they're damn
uh,
near proven.
and they said the doors of perception are not doors with veils to pass through.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and and like I said, that veil when it comes to the music, that vibrations, those frequencies, to summon, create, open, what have you,
Hmm.
you know. And in religions, I think just pretty much across the board, religions are telling you that, a lot of them they talk about, souls, your soul. It's a battle for your soul. So it's like, okay, so you have now given me that information, but they kind of sell it in a way that you won't have any control over what happens to
Ooh,
your soul
put
afterward.
that up? Read that out loud.
Let's see. Nathan White said, "Son of God" translates to one who is godly or one with God.
One with God.
Booyah!
I
Booyah!
mean, I know we're like being, but like, look what we can manifest right now as humans, and we're competing against each other. We have technology. We have things that we have now.
Mm,
You could, if you show someone this in the 1930s, they'd be like, "What the what?" Their mind would be blown.
yeah,
So imagine
that's
if we just took it up a notch
mm,
at a more conscious level,
yep,
man.
yep. Which the CIA is telling you it exists. So you got
Telling
religions
you,
telling you that, and you got the CIA, and I'm sure the KGP and all kinds of other, government entities are just like, oh no, that's real. That is real. And
we're
you,
seeing people like LeBron James playing basketball at 40 years old at a high level
right.
due to just not only his mental health, but technology
Hmm.
and the time he lives in. Could you imagine if we were able to do that with all 40-year-old people
Right.
at a certain, which we could probably do now?
Yeah. Yeah. The probably. I mean, it's almost like he's giving everybody a little blueprint. You know.
So like, I look at things like that, and people think I'm like nerdy and lame, probably, but like, that's what they be thinking about. I'm like, man, if we could just
How do you
think about
harness
it
harness
at a
that?
yeah, how do we harness that? How do we had people fly up, which I think is fake, fly up to space and whatever. That was lame, but they did that. But how do we harness that for everybody else?
Right.
If you can do that, why aren't we doing it for at a bigger scale?
Are you
Why
talking
aren't
about
we
Katie?
mining?
You talking about Katy Perry and them when they went to
Yeah,
space?
what the hell was that?
That
That
didn't.
was fake.
That didn't happen. Nathan White said this recording of Alan Watts is from the late
Wait,
'60s to the late '70s. He drank himself to death. Oh shit! Well, we gotta left that part.
probably due to depression. A lot of smart people have a
Yeah,
hard time.
yeah, because it's they rather just well, yeah, you don't know what they're going through. I know that when the weekend hits, I want to turn my mind off because it's always going,
Yeah,
um, where sometimes it's never hard to sleep, so that's a lie. But when I wake up, sometimes I'm not. You know what I'm saying? It's 3 in the morning, and now I'm up.
yeah.
Because there's so many things and issues and problems and logistics and things that need to be solved. And I'm not the only one to go through that. I'm sure all of us in this chat go through that. So um,
Exactly, but it could be like either if we had more of a should have a hive mind. I don't think that's true, but more of a communal mindset of like, these work hours, these 40-hour work days, or these people work 60-hour, work weeks. This ain't working for people.
Right,
Let's do
right.
something
Like,
different. I mean, we
yeah,
should still
yeah.
live our lives and
I
be able
got
to
you, Nate.
live.
I got
So,
you, Nate.
anyways,
Yeah, I mean, when people were working remote, like it was working. It was working. Mental health was better. People were more productive. I know my work-life balance was so much better.
now
You
they're trying to
know,
force you to get back. We have things going on. The government's trying to make people go back to work just because they want the companies around the government center to get business. That's not going to
yep,
work. That's
that's not gonna
over.
work. Right. Stop.
Over. It's a new age. Let's
Yeah.
level up and get going. We do too much dumb stuff to hold us back.
Yeah, yeah. We try to go back. We see that it's better, that it's better for the people, but we try to scale it back because the companies aren't benefiting off of it. That's a you problem. That's not a me problem. If these businesses are not making money because people aren't going into the office, well, then they need to find another way to market. You got to figure it out. You got to
These
evolve.
retired people sitting at home, better get them folks out there. Retired people say, "Well, I don't want to leave my house. It's hard to leave." Well, then that's the infrastructure issue.
Right.
But it shouldn't be on the people who are working 40 hours a week that have to change their whole lifestyle because it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make
I'm gonna
sense.
shut
Yeah. I mean, well, no, I mean, got a point because, people have relocated to other areas. People, their childcare has changed up, because of that. And then you want to, you're uprooting them and changing their entire life. So just like that to appease other businesses around you. So let's see here. Nathan White says, CT, listen more to Alan Watts. Listen objectively and with a grain of salt. You might find more. You might find more to things.
I already probably like everything you talked about. I
Yeah.
just made me think of like Buddha's, teachings about being connected to energy, to nature, and how we're all one. It's just all that stuff, man. It's all they all talk about it. Every
Yeah.
religious monolith, not monolith, what do they call them? Messiahs. They all
Besides,
talk about the
yeah.
connection. Now it's getting scientific.
Mhm.
Quantum theory is literally telling you all this stuff.
Yeah,
Can you manifest your reality?
and then you got quantum entanglement, man. Like that. I mean, it's yin and yang. It's push and pull, and this is kind of what Watts was talking about. Is yin and yang. You know what I'm saying? So, but we should probably move on for that and get to a little game for the gang.
Yeah. We got 30 minutes. Try to breathe through them.
Oh shit. All right. So we're gonna go fast. We're gonna go hyperspeed. So I'll pull this first one up here.
I'll have the second one pulled up.
All right. Cool.
We're going to talk about them, so we don't have to go that fast, but
definitely. Yeah. It's like, I mean, it doesn't have to be 2 hours. It's better if it is because it's helpful for me, but and I'm sure most people too. But go in here. Oh, there it is. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So check this out. Dudleytown, Connecticut. So haunted, it's illegal to visit.
A small town in America that's so haunted it's illegal to visit. Dudleytown, Connecticut was an 18th century settlement in a place called the Dark Entry Forest. That is actually its name. This is a picture of it, and it's also supposed to be haunted. The land's curse allegedly stems from this guy named... He was a British nobleman who was executed for treason by King Henry VIII. His descendants were reportedly plagued with misfortune, including madness and mysterious deaths. His curse followed the Dudley family when they immigrated to Connecticut from England. Legends say that this curse brought about random lightning strikes, plagues, people losing their sanity, and then seeing shadowy creatures in the woods. Because of how crazy this curse was, the entire settlement was abandoned. Dudleytown is now strictly off limits. It's illegal to enter. Now, it is important to note that back then, a lot of people were eating moldy rye bread, which led to hallucinations. They believed like strange occurrences and curses were happening, and sometimes it turned out it was just because of the bread. So could this be one of those cases, or do you think it's actually haunted? I live in New York, so maybe I can like go around the area, not break any laws, but like I could go around the area, make a video if you guys are interested. Interact and let me know if it'd be worth my time.
So anyway, I found that pretty interesting. So I went and Googled that mofo, and I had Google up, and that was gone because I'm stupid. Let's see here, Delhi, Connecticut. Let's see if I can share my screen here. It appears that it's true. Just a quick overview. Delhi Town,
wow.
it's an abandoned settlement located in the dark Industry Forest, known for history and the curse associated with the Dudley Farm. It's not officially recognized town, but a village that has become abandoned in the early 1900s.
That's wild. AI, like, nah,
Right.
player. It's out there. I would
So
never go. But
I got some land to sell you in Dudley, Connecticut.
yeah, that's
So
wild.
yeah, that's wild, man. Because I mean, look, dude, I wonder who owns that property. Like, what's
Warren family investigated Dailytown in the 70s to verify presence of multiple demonic entities, according to one account. Hell nah.
Isn't that crazy?
Hell nah.
Yeah. So if you find yourself around this area, do not enter. I
Man,
repeat.
look at us warning you. You should like and subscribe. You might
Yes.
get stuck in Dudley, Connecticut. Now you know.
Now you know.
I gotta get out of here. Demons.
Yeah. I heard the
So,
Taylor Boys on Men of Letters say to avoid this place, like to play, because I might get attacked by demons.
avoid that like the plague.
Yeah.
All right, I got the next one.
All right.
It's called Consciousness. External scientist death is not real. Ooh, okay, let's get it.
The physical reality that we all live in is actually just a projection of our mind. This sounds like the script from the movie Matrix, but I'm going to explain how science looks at it. In the analytic idealism theory, former CERN scientist Bernardo Kastrup says that all matter is what the mind looks like from the outside. That matter does not create consciousness, it's consciousness that creates matter. He says that our physical reality is the outward appearance of our thoughts and our emotions. Just as a smile doesn't cause happiness, the brain doesn't cause consciousness. It's just a symptom of it. And Kastrup proposes that there's only one universal consciousness called the mind at large. Just like how the ocean creates infinite waves, each individual wave is our human experience. When the wave is above the water, it is temporarily disconnected from the body of ocean, creating our unique individual perspective on life. And this is where it gets interesting. He says that death is an illusion. When the physical body dies, your consciousness becomes reintegrated back to that one universal consciousness. Just like how a wave, when it crashes back into the ocean, becomes the ocean again. So in a world where conventional science says that we're just these biological machines that happen to have consciousness, Kastrup says that you are actually part of the creator and you are the universe waking up to itself.
That's pretty deep. That's what we've been saying the whole time.
And if you want a cool way to also says that, watch Akira. That's the name.
Oh, does that happen in Akira? I haven't seen it in so long.
He be in the movie. I haven't read the manga, but in the movie, he becomes the universe.
Oh, okay.
We are part of. We are ancient beings, yo. We are a part of the universe. Our DNA is 9 billion years old.
Yep.
I mean, theory. We're not saying it's true, but there's theory that we've seen say that. So it's kind of fun to think about. You don't have to believe it all, but it's kind of fun to think about. And it doesn't destroy religion at all. But anyways,
it doesn't. Not at all. Not at all. And I didn't know that, Nate. By the way, I didn't know that.
It's
good to know.
Cool. Let me use the bathroom while you play the next one.
Oh shit! I had the next one up. Man.
It's Eden, right?
Eden. Yep.
And I'm gonna get mine queued up. Well,
all right. Check this out.
The Bible does not say that God created man in the Garden of Eden. It says the gods created man and put him into the garden. And when they left the garden, they left and found people out there. It says so in the Bible. All around the garden were people. And when Adam and Eve were told, had two sons, Cain and Abel, when Cain kills his brother Abel, God says you have to leave out of this protected area. Cain says to God in the scriptures, do not send me out there because anyone finding me out there is going to kill me. God says, no, I'm not going to let them kill you. I'll put a mark on you. Now God believes there's somebody out there. The point is that there must have been people out already there, but not as highly developed and not highly evolved. It would be reasonable if you took a caveman or a Neanderthal race of people and took two out and then through some sort of a high technology genetically change them and evolve them quickly and then send you back out into a Neanderthal civilization. Now you're going to be totally different, and they're going to remember that you left and now you come back different. It all smacks of something else that's in the Bible that we haven't been told. The Bible.
All right, so I don't know. Could you guys hear that the whole time? Some reason I think it was muted at some point. I'll play it back for Kobe. Give me 1 second.
Does not say that God created man in the Garden of Eden. It says the gods created man and put him into the garden. And when they left the garden, they left and found people out there. It says so in the Bible. All around the garden were people. And when Adam and Eve were told, had two sons, Cain and Abel, when Cain kills his brother Abel, God says you have to leave out of this protected area. Cain says to God in the scriptures, do not send me out there because anyone finding me out there is going to kill me. God says, no, I'm not going to let them kill you. I'll put a mark on you. Now God believes there's somebody out there. The point is that there must have been people out already there, but not as highly developed and not highly evolved. It would be reasonable if you took a caveman or a Neanderthal race of people and took two out and then through some sort of a high technology genetically change them and evolve them quickly and then send you back out into a Neanderthal civilization. Now you're going to be totally different, and they're going to remember that you left and now you come back different. It all smacks of something else that's in the Bible that we haven't been told.
So who are they talking about? According to the story of Cain, he's immortal and should be alive. Yeah, I've heard that too. They've actually done like movies and stuff and he's been I think he was in Supernatural as well. Cain, they talked about that. Cain was still alive and immortal. I don't know if I believe that. I think that might have just, they're saying that maybe his DNA, he'll always have people. The Canaanites are from Cain.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, and they're talked about quite a bit in historical texts and all that. So, it could be possible because, Cain he was an ancient being, so maybe they had some technology they could live forever. But there's been a bunch of catalysms since its existence, so I don't know if we made it out. Yeah. My mic it's not a podcasting mic. It's a studio mic. It's for Persona. So I use my mic Random Rig for recording music. My podcast studio is in the garage, which is now taken apart right now. So 'cause I got a bunch of stuff in there that I need to get rid of. But so this is for vocal recording. In a studio. Kobe, what kind of mic?
I don't know. The mic that came with the mixer. Don't get it, Random Rig.
He said
I would get the Shure 7. If I were you, that's what I'm gonna get. Just get the generic old one everybody else gets, that cost the arm and a leg. But yeah, I would get the XLR one. I think it's like 180. So
is it okay? I mean, you could get this mic, Random Rick. It'll work fine for you, but it's not necessary for podcasting.
Yeah, this one's trash. It does its job, but it's just not a good. It's not what it should sound like.
Could be
I
better.
feel like my Yetis sounded better and they were USB mics. So, but
Now I don't know if you watch John Campea, Random Rick, but he has a list of his equipment, and he has a really good successful podcast, and a lot of the stuff that I've gotten from John Campea's list.
yeah, I would give me the. I'm just gonna put it on. Sorry, Robert. Yeah, I had to get the classic Shure 7 or MV7 or the Shure MVB. There's one you can do XLR and you can do USB too. That would be the preem one in my opinion.
Yeah, Kobe knows his products. So Nathan White said, well, Cain was created 6,000 years ago, so he could still be alive according to getting Big facts. Big facts.
Yeah, John Campea is a dude. He has a lot of good equipment.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for like 15 years. So
Yeah.
he's kind of been in the game for a while.
Yeah.
So this one's called the Slave Bible. Or that's what we called it. So we'll check it out. I don't know.
Washington's Museum of the Bible, a single volume that is like no other. The so-called Slave Bible, remarkable not for what's in it, but for what's not.
So about 90% of the Old Testament's been removed and about 50% of the New Testament's been removed. To put it another way, a normal King James Version has 1,189 chapters in it. The Slave Bible has only 232.
Missing are chapters and verses that might have encouraged uprisings. Book of Exodus, redacted. No story of Moses demanding Pharaoh, let my people go. Gone is Galatians, and the verse, there is neither bond nor free, for ye are all one in Christ Jesus.
Sorry, Nate.
And no Jeremiah, woe unto him that useth his neighbor's service without wages.
What they've left in are verses such as Ephesians 6:5, which is the famous verse, slaves be obedient to your master.
Looking at this Bible, it's hard to tell that anything's been taken out of it.
That's correct. I mean, it looks like a normal book. For many enslaved Africans, this would have been the first time they were exposed to the Bible.
A Bible selectively edited to instill obedience, using religion to underpin the horror of slavery. The Slave Bible designed to repress rebellion, but it didn't work. Enslaved people in the Caribbean constantly fought against slavery until emancipation.
I think it's very relevant to understand our history, not just American history, but our African American history, our root.
Now I gotta say something. They gotta stop doing that. It wasn't just in the Caribbean that Black people were fighting against slave owners. They were doing it right here in America.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't, so that's fine. I'm just letting y'all know.
Yep.
We weren't no docile little old slaves here. That wasn't going on.
And how we got to this point.
Of Nat Turner.
A dark chapter in the history of the good book.
England went into the slave trade with a vengeance, led by Captain Hawkins and the good ship Jesus. The ship was called the good ship Jesus. The coat of arms
That's wild.
on the ship was two Africans bound back to back with their arms tied.
Wow.
So they saw no contradiction in being in the slave trade and being Christians at the same time. We cannot deal with this enough because we're still suffering from this.
Inside Washington's Museum of the
And I'm gonna tell you right now, we ain't play that.
But a lot of our ancestors were indoctrinated into Christianity through those books and passed down to generations today.
Yeah, but a lot of us fought back too.
We did.
You know, our great grandma who did, our great grandma who did root work. She knew what was up.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a rebellion. There's always been a rebellious spirit within the Black people in America.
Yeah, and it comes from those younger generations that are like, that don't make no sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like this is crazy. This is This is look, I understand that you're from this. Is this what you're teaching? But this doesn't make sense. It's kind of like the fleas in the jar. You take fleas and you put them in a jar and you close it and you go away for 3 days, and open the jar up. The fleas don't jump any higher than the top of the jar or whatever.
Yep.
They can't jump out, and then their offsprings do the same thing because that's what they're taught. You know what I'm saying? So
don't get me wrong. You're taught that to survive. Like I get, I get it, but I mean, not all of us played that.
Right. And you took that piece out of it. I completely ignored that part. I'm like, whatever. I know that's not true. So that's I didn't even hear that. I was like, yeah, okay, I know that's bullshit. But really, it's just the message in the Bible itself that it was teaching our ancestors, and they sucked them in. So what is this? They did have access to the sermons and the King James versions. The songs they wrote show this.
What it made any sense to me is the slave Bible. They didn't let slaves read. So I was just coming. That didn't make any sense to me. We didn't read it in America. They didn't want us to read.
Could read
I
it.
don't understand how that works.
Yeah, they did have access to sermons and the King James Bible, but the King James version, they would take things out of the King James versions for the slave Bible. I have my family Bible that was printed in 1852.
Wow,
that's awesome.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, my parents gave me a Bible for Christmas. I had to have been in the 80s. I still have it. Let's see here. The next one is on me, right?
I believe so.
It's Huru. What does that mean? Okay. Oh, this is pretty long. Hold on, guys. All right. Hopefully I can get this video to work. Give me a second. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, let's get it. Can't hear it though. Mute it. All right, here we go.
What do you call this object? All right. Everyone who calls that object the Sphinx has been miseducated. And you got to free your mind. That is not a Sphinx. The word Sphinx is a Greek word. This statue was made at least 4,000 years before the development of Greece. So what are we doing calling it by a Greek name? The word Sphinx, if you go home and look up the word Sphinx in the dictionary this evening, you'll find the word Sphinx means to strangle or to hold. This image was referred to by the Africans who created it as Hermaket. It means Heru on the horizon. It is an image of Heru, the son of God. The image of Heru on the body of a lion. This statue is symbolic, and it represents the process by which you can develop your higher consciousness through the refinement of your mind, developing your God consciousness through the refinement of your mind, which allows you to conquer your lower animal nature. See, the lion there represents the bestial nature that exists within every person. So your objective, if you are to succeed in life, is to develop the God consciousness within you so that you can control your lower animal nature and are no longer subservient to your passions. You no longer go out and do something on Friday and Saturday night that you regret 9 months later, because you understand what happens when you are not in control of your consciousness. All right.
I like that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how much of that is true, but yeah, I could dig it. That makes sense, because Sphinx is a Greek word. So why would they call it that when ancient Egypt is just as ancient to ancient Greece as ancient Greece is to us?
Yeah, that's true.
If not more, it's more ancient.
Interesting. I never thought about what it was called. I mean, I thought it was called this. Yeah, but I would. Yeah, they wouldn't call it that.
Yeah.
So this next video is called 666. That's
who put that video up?
I don't know. Glad I get to be the one to play it.
6 is the atomic structure of carbon. Yes, but it goes deeper. It's also the frequency of melanin. Melanin isn't just pigment. It's cosmic technology.
Great concept.
Stores light. It channels frequencies. It's your connection to the universe. They demonize 666 because it ties directly into ancient people. To you, to your power. It connects to Saturn, the planet of spiritual law, karma, and time. See, they flipped Saturn energy into a prison. But when you master it, you unlock divine timing, discipline, authority, God energy. 666 isn't the mark of the beast, it's the mark of mastery. Mind, body, spirit in alignment. You become the creator. You've always been afraid of your own reflection because they taught you to fear your own light. But 666
He said
is
what?
the atomic structure of carbon.
Hold on.
Go fact checking. What's the atomic structure of carbon?
Yeah.
Carbon atom has 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons.
The number 666 is associated with carbon due to the atomic structure. Carbon has 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, with some interpretations connected number 666. The connection is symbolic and doesn't reflect a direct scientific relationship.
Very interesting. Very interesting indeed.
Go ahead with the next video, bro.
Go with like, no comment.
I don't know what to say about that. So
I mean,
I don't get it.
Yeah, that
Did they even talk about the mark of the number of the beast in the Bible?
I don't know, because Revelations was created. When did that happen? Because that was written after the Revelations is pretty new. Like it's not, and they canonize it for whatever reason, but it's really new. So while you look that up, I'll play this. That's called Terminator Bike. So let's see what this looks like. Can you guys see my screen? Yes, you can. Before that, there's a comment in here.
In the book of Revelation, the Bible mentions the number 666 as the number of the beast in Revelation 13:18. The number associated with a man, specifically the identity of the coming Antichrist, is understood as the number value that corresponds to his name.
Yeah, they said she's crazy. So only to define how the mark would be made. The guy that wrote it was not a physicist.
How the mark would be made?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
No idea.
Like what? I guess I'm stuck on the other on the atomic thing. I didn't care what else they said about it.
But is that a coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. I'm sure that guy wasn't a physicist, but he may have had information because they put that information in the book. So he knew somebody who knew something about something. Yeah, I mean, again, we're going back to the jar and the fleas. You still have to even if it sounds foreign, you still have to dig into it just to see what's what.
See, I'm confused because The number 66 is the name of a person. The letters of the Greek name Jesus, for example, add up to 888. The problem is many different letter combinations yield the same total.
So what happened to 777? Was that the holy number? Uh-oh, we lost Kobe. Or the Trinity is the holy number. I don't know. While that's going down, I'll play this real quick. This is called Terminator Bike.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
Much on the
You know the world is about to take a crazy turn when they start doing unexplainable shit with technology. So Kawasaki, Kawasaki, the motorcycle company, just released their new motorcycle. And let me say this, it's not a motorcycle. Matter of fact, look at this shit. And as you can see, it looks like a motorcycle, but it has 4 legs. What the hell do you need a motorcycle with 4 legs for? 4 fully functionable legs. And let me just say this, you could do way more shit with this than you can with a motorcycle.
Right.
Look at this shit right here.
It does.
So you telling me they're not getting ready for something? This new robot horse doesn't take gas. It doesn't take batteries either. It's fueled by hydrogen, which means it's going to last way longer than a motorcycle for whatever they want you to use it for. Yeah, okay. And they're saying this could be controlled the same way you control a motorcycle. But they also specified it's used for lifting things. I wonder what they plan on lifting with it. Because who's running up mountains with a robotic horse? Now, what they're saying is they don't have a price for it out yet. But it's not going to be cheap. So most likely it might be in the $100,000 range and up.
And a booger in nose.
Pay attention. You know the world is...
They might need one of those to climb up a hill, man. When the floods hit.
That's crazy.
So I don't know why that's happening, but yeah.
Yeah, man. That atomic, that was interesting.
I left it on there so you can go back to it and peep it because it was so far out there. Anything that I've ever heard, I'm like, that's very interesting because I'm always thinking, these people are lying to us anyway. So
777 associated with Lamech, father of Noah. Lamech lived for 777 years. So 777 is a good number, but who knows, man?
Yeah,
if it's just a name,
because we're carbon based entities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's too coincidental for me, man. So I had to put it on there.
Yeah, this is interesting, man. All right, this
bike is cool.
We want you. That bike is cool. The cat mobile, whatever that thing is. All right, here we go. Let's play it.
Ask, why did you join the military? Now, this is comedian Donnell Rollins. He actually spent 4 years in the Air Force, and he has a pretty interesting take on why certain people join the military.
The biggest group of people, but the historically lowest percentage ever in the military? White people. Yep. Yeah, you're right. There's less white people in the military, percentage-wise, than ever in the history of the U.S.
It's less white people, but the white people are the most patriotic.
That's an interesting point. With all the MAGA guys and everything else like that, none of them are actually joining the military.
But the ones that go into, they are really in the military to protect the serve this country. Yeah, white people go to protect and serve. Black people go for the benefits. That's a known fact.
You went for the benefits?
100%. You think I went in the military to protect you? We was actually in a war situation. I'm like, yo, Flair, get out. I'm going to save you. No, you dead. If I'm dead, you dead. If I'm wounded, you're wounded, motherfucker.
Now, I can only speak for me and my household, but I know I joined because I need the help with college money. I got to ask, why did you join the military? Now, this is...
What do you think, man?
I mean, yeah, that's what most people do it for. I'm pretty like, if Sean was watching, he would say he did it to pay for college. You just do it. get through.
Yeah. I think that's how they may initially join, but then they, I think a lot of them buy in at a point.
Yeah.
Like I think if I had gone, I kind of wish I had gone. Just looking back now, it just let them, I wasn't really mature when I graduated from high school. You know what I mean? Had I gone and put 4 years in, and I still needed an adult. I still needed discipline. When I left for school. So, I kind of wish I had put the 4 years in, and I think it's like 4 years active and 4 years inactive. They can still call you up and all that stuff. But
you get the veteran benefits and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good move. Or you
Yeah.
can do it in college. You can do ROTC in college.
Yeah, that's my buddy Greg did. He did the ROTC program, and when he did it, I should have done it with him, but I didn't do it because I do think you can learn a lot of good values. Being in the military and all that. So, in our culture, it's the military is not a good place for a black man. But my grandfather served, our uncle served. Like you said,
People in our family served.
Yeah, our cousin Sean.
I mean, Sean, he got paid while he was like in school. Like that was a benefit.
Mm-hmm.
You get paid for drill. You get paid for this and that. So,
shoot, that's nice.
And they pay for school. So like, you're paying for school. You get money in your pocket. All you gotta do is go run. Shoot.
Right. It's like being a professional athlete.
Right.
Money's not as good, but hey, you get paid for it. I'm sure Nathan, I'm sure my wife would love a real horse. They are kind of like puppies. But I don't know if horses can climb hills like that. Maybe a goat. Maybe a goat can, but so I'll play the last one called Spirituality versus Christianity. Hope nobody gets triggered. All right, so let's check this out.
Do what?
Just said you too old now. Yeah, I know. Ain't nobody checking for me. Look, they wouldn't even draft me. All right, check this out. Jesus was just as divine, so just like you and me.
So do you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior? No. However, I respect Jesus as a divine teacher, but my path is different. You do understand that Jesus is the only path to salvation, right? I understand that's what your faith teaches, but to me, salvation isn't linear. It's a journey of the soul through many lives, learning and growing towards divine realization. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to my Father except through me. Truth is vast and universal. Just as a river flows into the same ocean from many directions, the divine can be experienced in many ways. For you, Jesus is the path. For me, the journey unfolds through karma, dharma, and self-realization. So you don't believe in salvation through Christ? I believe in liberation of the soul through moksha, which comes from the understanding of our divine nature. It's not tied to one lifetime or one teacher, but to the unfolding of the soul's wisdom. So you're saying there's no need for Jesus? Not at all. Jesus is the divine soul. His teachings on love, compassion, and selflessness align with my core beliefs. But I also honor Krishna, Buddha, and many other enlightened ones. The divine is too vast just to be contained to one form. But what about judgment? Heaven, hell? I don't see judgment as an eternal sentence, but a reflection of our actions. Our deeds shape our experiences in this lifetime and the next. If we still have lessons to learn, we return, growing closer to the divine with each birth. So what if someone never gets a chance to refine themselves? That's exactly why reincarnation makes sense. Every soul is on its own unique journey. Some face suffering as a result of past actions, and some face suffering to cultivate wisdom. Every experience, even suffering, is an opportunity to evolve. So you think suffering is a lesson? Yes, suffering teaches humility, love, and attachment from the material world. It's not a punishment, but a chance to awaken. Well, I believe the soul's fate is sealed in this lifetime. Either go to heaven or hell. There's no second chances. Then we see the journey differently, and that's okay. But truth is like the sky. It remains no matter how we view it. Well, if I'm right, we know where you'll be. And if I'm right, maybe you'll be having this conversation with someone else in the next lifetime. So do you accept Jesus as your Lord and
Thoughts?
Yeah, Jesus didn't even say that stuff.
No. Just some guy saying that he did, but he didn't. I'm sending it to you now, Nathan.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I like the.
Jesus would agree with you with how how the experience and how you need to love each other. We're all divine. We're all divine beings. The God within you.
Right.
Jesus Christ said, "You could do what I do. You could do what I do and more."
Mm-hmm.
Why do we ignore that? I don't.
Because it's dogma, man. It's one way or the other. It's heaven or hell. That's it. That's it. And the fate is already sealed. The book, some
Fate is already sealed. So what's the point?
Right. Yeah. Some fractions of Christianity say that the names are already in the book. Those who are going are going. Those who ain't, and most of them ain't going. It's like.
So then, how do you even know? How do you know?
Right. Yeah. I can't call it. Man. So, but yeah. Anyways,
that was a good game for the game. I think we should leave it at that. That was good.
I think we should too. We can do Cap or Nah.
Yeah.
Next.
We got you kind of talking about sinners and stuff. So man, I never co-signed a movie enough. That go see Sinners, y'all. Let me know what you think. What you think about it?
Yeah.
I mean, on here.
Yeah. It's deep, man. It's deep. Sinners is real deep. So please check it out, man. And it's for everybody. I think everybody can get something out of it. If anything, you get to travel back, into the 1930s and Mississippi and hang out in that area for a bit, especially if you like history. So
it's cool.
Yeah. So I think this was a deep thought type of game for a gang and show as well. So maybe we'll keep it a little lighter next week.
Dang. All right. I mean, I like this show. It was a good show. I think gotta put it back with mine. You know what? And I'm we can leave this, but like
you're right, Nathan.
Both religions. Yeah, that's true. I think I don't know. I think the internet kind of like has made people less personable. But I think these kind of pictures, we could step back and like don't get too offended. But like think about it. All we're talking about is peace and love. Me and Rashad preach out here. So if it offends you, just take a step back and think about why that might offend you.
Yeah, we're just saying don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole, and be within live within the service of others.
Yeah, we're here to serve.
Yeah, absolutely. So we appreciate everybody who joined the chat tonight. The silent viewers as well. We appreciate you guys as well. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us on this Sunday. We know there's some. I don't know if the NHL playoffs are on, but the NBA playoffs are on and all that good stuff. So thanks for taking the time out to kick it with us, man. Kobe, you got any deep thoughts or insight for anybody?
Yeah, take care of yourself. If anything, one deep thought is if you can practice it, meditate for like 2 minutes. Take a second just to feel the space. Think about your breathing human living organism. And the world's crazy, but we're all going through it. Yeah. So if you think about it like that, if you're going through some shit, everybody's going through some shit. And reach out to somebody. Talk to somebody. Yeah. We're all going through some shit. So
absolutely. We're all connected.
When you feel alone, you're not alone. Sometimes it's good to be alone. It's good to be on that journey. Be by yourself. So
completely.
And
agree.
Protect your spirit. Don't whistle at night. And take care of yourself. See you next week.
And then also, don't whistle in the woods.
Don't whistle in the woods. Don't whistle at night. Don't whistle in the woods. Yeah, every free don't to see an old school Bible. We had a Bible that we had like a 4-leaf clover in. I don't know where that. I don't know where that.
I don't know where that Bible is. I haven't seen it in a long time. Maybe it's up in the loft up there.
Every time I touched that Bible, I felt like I got good luck. So.
Got a little power kick from it. Yeah. So be good to each other out there, guys. We will see you next week at 7:30 p.m. Depending on it might be a Wolves game.
So if there's a Wolves game, we'll try to be on earlier.
Yeah.
But if not, we'll be here at 7:30. But we're in the midst of a interesting playoff run. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So
We'll see. All right, y'all. BZ in them streets. We out of here. Peace.
Giants.
People who came from the sky.
Yeah.